running through
Yeah.
running through a junk tank matchup.
No, I'll just throw in some rocks or
Alright.
whatever.
Yep. And here we go. Welcome everyone to the Alright. So Hawkinson digs up my opponent's list for the jank tank to use as our punching bag. Suppose a good place to start would be where to get Vassal from. So we'll open with just a quick Google search. I assume everyone knows how to work a installation sequence, but just do a Google search for Vassal. It'll be one of the first entries that comes up. That will take you to the Vassal engine page where you can download Vassal itself and then get the module. Just do a search for Vassal X-Wing and that'll take you to the module page where Muon keeps the latest version updated. And then after, yep. So it's easy to keep updated. Like Quinton said, there's a welcome message that pops up when you open the module that will tell you if there's a newer version or if you're running the latest one. Alright, and after you install and open it, you will get this little box down here. And this one. So, when you first open it, Vassal, this will be blank. You just want to go File, Open Module, find where you saved the X-Wing one and open it. And that will get you this entry here, and then you can just double click that to open. Once you have Vassal up and running,
Yeah, your opponent doesn't actually have rock selected, Ben, so I'm gonna
right, reminder to self, contact Ryan and get my opponent DQ'd for cheating. Oh.
I'm gonna take gas clouds because that makes sense. I have a defender.
Bleh. Defenders. Who invited Rexy to this party? No, I didn't. Alright. Oh. What's that? I want... that one. Alright, now after you open Vassal, you will be greeted by... Ultimately, the goal is you'll have it set up something like this. You'll be first greeted by this game controls window, which has the chat, active games, and your current game room. Let me see if I can fix the... quiet the voices. Bear with me a moment. Is that any better? Not really.
casually destroying your household.
Yeah. Just trying to fix the mic issues. Come on. Sorry, guys. Where is it? All right. Is that any better? That's a little. Seems a bit better. Maybe. All right. I think that's about the best I can do, so we might just have to run with that. All right. Oh, that out of the way. So after you join into Vassal, set up a game with your opponent. You want to create a new room by typing in a room name here. So,
Do you want to show them the private message function so that way they can actually like set up games by like going, "Hey, you play me."
yes, probably. Yeah, so far. All right. So there's as Quentin mentioned, said, there's a private message feature in Vassal. So if you just right-click on someone's name, there'll be a private message button. If you press that, that will bring up a little chat window like so. So this is me just messaging Quentin. Downside of turning my mic up is I think you can all hear my keyboard working now. And then if Quentin is so inclined, he would reply yes, and then we'd start up a new game. As I was just getting to before, easy way to start a new game is just type in a game room here. So here's one we prepared earlier, just random game name, just normally something that your opponent will quickly recognize. And then once you're both in your game room, to start a game, which is just simple file new game, that will bring up a window of which player you want to be, and then that'll select your map, which will eventually bring you to these screens. So these basic screens you want to have up during a game of Vassal, you'll need your main controls. Uh, so your main control window, which gives you options to become player. Map button will open the map that you see off to the left here. The numbered buttons will open the player windows. So in this case, I'm player 1. So this is this window. Player 2 would generally be your opponent. Which... Oh, eh, eh, eh. can bring up to examine their list. So if I was to bring up Quinton's, it would look something like this. So I normally don't bother having that up all the time. Like if you imagine in a regular game of X-Wing, you don't need to look at your opponent's list constantly throughout the game. You might need to check the wording of a card here and there, or double check how much damage they're on. But in Vassal in particular, damage is handled with the ship bases themselves, which is this probably be a good chance to actually show the ship bases themselves. So when you spawn ships in Vassal, which I'll get to in a moment, they come up looking like the ones Quinton has here. She's just moving out the map for me. They'll have a number at the top left, which is for the initiative. On the right, they'll have their hull and shields. Any charges or force points will show up as little yellow or purple numbers in the bottom left. Is that right, Quentin?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm just doing it on rack now.
Oh, yep. There you go. Sorry, one charges on bottom left, force on bottom right. So those can all be adjusted freely in game. So generally, when you take damage, you'll lower the hull or shields as needed, and if you feel so inclined, you can use the force points and charges on the ship base to track them. Some players instead prefer to just drag out a force point and carry it around with the ship, or drag out a charge token and carry it around with the ship. That all works just so long as you have a way to track it that's clear to both you and your opponent. So after you've got your game up and running, next step is getting your squad spawned in. So for that you need a online list builder. Any of the main ones work. You will have if you go to your main player window, you will see buttons at the top. Squad spawn, say set. Escrow squad is a bit of a fancy one, but we'll get to that in a moment. So generally what you do is use 2.0 squad spawn. Too many. That will open this window. And this is where having a online list builder comes in, because the easiest way to spawn a list is there's this method one here, insert a squad URL from Yasby or the official builder. I generally prefer Yasby. So just in web browser, such as this one, so I've just prepared my Jank Tank list. You would simply copy the URL, go back to Vassal, paste the URL into method one, and then this press spawn squad. Give that a second to process. And in theory, yay, right, up and running. And then we have a list. So in this case, this is my second game ever with droids, so I expect to be thoroughly humbled here. The last thing to spawn is a damage deck, which is just spawned with this little 1.0 damage deck symbol up here. That will bring up, bear with me another moment. This damage deck dispenser, and you'll see the second edition deck is the first option up there. There's also options for Epic if you feel so inclined, and they've got both 1.0 decks if you want to go back and rediscover the sadness of first edition. If you click that, that'll spawn a damage deck in your player window. So everything from this point on will be mostly controlled through the player window. It's a space where you can keep your ships to refer to your cards. It's also a spot for you to store your dials while you work on them, and it'll spawn all the tokens your list needs, as well as the ship models themselves. Now, I believe I did assign rocks, but I forgot to put them into. If you select rocks in Yaspi, it will automatically spawn them here. I have neglected to do so, so they have not, which is probably for the better anyway, because it means I can show the pieces menu. So pieces button just to the left of the player window is up here. That will open. That will open this. So blue screen is welcome. Then at the top, they'll just see different options for the different pieces you can access. So as Epic, chits is where all tokens are kept. There's first edition tokens, asteroids, debris, gas clouds. Second edition is where the second edition tokens are kept. And so if you need one of those, say for example, I needed a force point, just go to force, click, and drag it into the map. In this case though, I need some rocks, and I believe I selected. Yeah, these three will be close enough. So 1 rock, 2 rocks, 3 rocks. And then at that point, you are pretty much good to go. So Quinton's already activated the 3x3 setup that's included in Vassal, which is this button up at the top of the map. Just activates an easy set of setup lines. So the outer lines are range 1 in from the edge, which gives you setup zones. And then the inner square is range 2 from the edge, which gives you a spot to put the rocks. Now, I believe JTO is random on initiative, isn't it, Quinton?
Yeah, it is. Sort of. So if you basically one of the players declares hits, or
Miss?
declares hits,
Yep.
and if it's a hit, you are first player.
Yep. All right. For your question there, Merc Damon, casual, yeah, most players just spawn in the list. They pretty much figure that there's no real reason for someone to hate squad you in casual. If you are concerned, that's where that escrow option I mentioned earlier comes up. So escrow squad just to the right there. If you bring that up, right, so we'll have to go back to the squad spawn. Oh,
I was gonna say the other side is though it's rarely mattered. I think the only time this would ever matter is if there's like a tournament, like
yeah. Tournament like
on the day.
now it's sometimes when they're making those tournaments, they make them open squad. Like I know in the Vassal League, it's open squad, so they have them use escrow to do it in advance. Let me just bring that up. All right, so I'll bring the squad builder back up. Hey, there he is. All right. So under when you spawn in your URL, underneath it there's the spawn squad. Just to the right of that, there's the send to escrow button. So what that will do is it will take your squad and send it to escrow, which will just store it off to the side until you and your opponent are ready. Then to bring up the other one. Bear with us a moment. And then after you've sent your squad to escrow, you can bring up the escrow squad option in your player window. That will bring up this one, which after your squad's loaded, it will say ready for escrow. You can press set. Once both players have pressed set, it'll spawn and you're good to go. All right. So once everything's set up and both players have spawned squads, it's time to start going. Both players will generally work out who wants what side of the map. I think Quinton and I normally go left, right, but up down's also fine if you
Uh,
and your opponent agree.
yeah. Just so you know though, with the up down, like one person's always going to have the advantage in that. In that someone's playing, like moving their ships down. It's not like like if you start bottom, it's not like they're gonna. It doesn't like flip the map for them, so they'll be playing facing down. So generally, etiquette is sort of left right. Um, so
Uh,
both players are equally disadvantaged.
all right. So in this case, we'll just roll for initiative, and then we can begin. So, would you like hit or miss, Quinton?
I'll go for it.
It's a miss, so that makes me player one. I suppose it's actually a decent chance to introduce the dice window. Um, so it's pretty simple as you just saw. Um, just a little white box here. Results will show up in the white space beside the controls. Controls are pretty straightforward. If you right click on the dice symbol, it gives you options to roll any number of dice, up to 7, which is actually redundant now that we're capped at 6, but oh well. Um, Buttons to the left of it are to add results. So if you have, say, Finn, you can add a blank result in, which will just spawn as a ghosted dice. That dice you can then do whatever you want with. Um, and then the focus button to the far left is a simple, as it says, spend focus, just automatically flips your focus results to hits or evades. If you want to modify your dice, it's simple again. You just right click the dice in question, and then you can re-roll it. You can set it to hit, crit, blank, whatever you want. Or cancel it if you've been crackshotted or are spending it for scene. And evades work the same way. All right, so after initiative's been determined, we do rocks. So do you want left or right, Quinton?
Uh, I'll just take right.
All
Fine.
right. Here you have a gas cloud. All right, so
Mm,
moving the rocks is pretty straightforward, just click and drag.
I'm gonna get there.
All right. If you want to rotate them a specific way, you can right click and there'll be a rotate option. Right click, while we've brought it up, is actually the best way to access most everything in the game. So if you need to do anything with a ship or with a dial, if you right click, you can access most controls. It's just kind of awkward is that I need space for my list, but I don't want you to have space for your defender. Blah.
No, we're not creating channels at all.
Again, who invited the defender? I demand to know.
I think that's all of them.
All right. All right. So as you see, ships spawn facing up. So most of the time you need to turn them 90 degrees to start setting up. Movement. This is a good chance to introduce the movement controls. They are actually fairly straightforward. They're built based around Control, Alt, and Shift buttons. And if you just imagine them as left, right, and up arrows, the controls make a lot of sense. So Shift 1 is straight 1, Control 1 is a left bank 1, Alt 1 would be a right bank 1, and to turn, you combine Control and Shift. So if I wanted to hard 1, just these guys just to get them facing the right way, I would go Control, Shift, 1. With the ships selected, I might add, and that turns them all as such. And then I'll single out my 2 initiative ones, 3 initiative ones actually, and drag them to my deployment zone, like so. And I'll just move these guys away to the side for now. So Quinton and I don't need to bother with it because we're talking via a Discord chat. If you know your opponent, that's generally the best way to play because it cuts out a lot of the button pressing that can be involved if you're playing a random just using Vassal. But after you've done any action, to indicate that you're finished, you would press the Say Set button in your player window, which is just to the right of the squad spawn. That'll bring up a little message in chat to say Player 1 is set. Your opponent would see that, know that it's their turn, and proceed with their stuff, which in Quinton's case is dragging a bomber into position. Oh, is it? No, he's a 3.
No, you pick PS3s, yeah.
I thought your guy was a 2.
He is on my actual JTA list.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Alright.
Uh, go there.
Alright, and Chotek. So I think I've decided I'd actually prefer to have him facing the other way. So again, do a hard turn, Alt Shift 1 for a 1 turn right, and we'll put him in behind everyone else. Bloody hell, rack as well. Much to spare.
It's fine.
It's really not.
Just block him.
Ugh.
I won't drop clusters.
That's right, they gave him cluster mines too. Alright. And then once everyone's down, both players confirm they're ready, and you're good to go. For the love of God, I will just stress, please remember to turn off the setup grids. Technically, there's no real advantage. Well, I suppose there is advantage in leaving them on, but it looks ugly, and technically not supposed to. So this brings us to dials. Selecting dials, you can just, if you want to set more than one at a time, you can just hold Shift and select multiple. You can use the left and right arrow keys to rotate them to match the directions of your ships. So in this case, I'll rotate them 90 degrees, so they're facing the same way as my ships are to help avoid confusion, although Chotek should remain. And then to set a dial, just select it, and then you would use the, what are they called? Parenthesis keys?
Yeah.
I think.
I usually use Z
It-
and the comma and the
yeah, comma and full stop. Sorry. So
yeah.
if you, which they're tied to those because of the two greater than and less than symbols on them. So if you just imagine them left, right, it'll rotate your dial that direction. So I will take this guy. And then just cycle through until I find the move I want. You'll see around the outside of the dial all the maneuvers are listed. So you can see what your ships can do if you've got one in mind. After they're all done, select them, press Control R. That will hide the dials. So you'll see the little eyeball symbol next to them that indicates they're hidden from everyone but their owner, which is me. And then drag them onto the map, and we're good to go. While you can change dials on the tabletop, this is not advised unless you're in chat and telling your opponent exactly what you're doing. Dials are only meant to be changed in your player window. If you do change a dial on the table, it will come up with a little warning message in the chat, as you'll see here, so your opponent knows that you may be trying to cheat. So please don't. All right. So once everyone's dials are in play, you see Quinton's hidden his, so I can't see the maneuver. Both players would say set in their chat windows, but Quinton and I are talking to each other, so we didn't need to bother with that. And we can start moving. So to move a ship, I'll start with the Vulture Droid. Yep. So select the dial, and then if you press, there are two options. If you press Control S, the ship will reveal the dial and move by itself. And then you're free to do an action. So in this case, I'm just going to calculate. Just going to drag one out to him. If I was, again, just dealing with chat, I would have just announced in the chat window the action he's doing after he moves. And we then proceed to the next one. So if your ship has an ability like Slave 1 that allows you to change the dial, what you can do is just reveal the dial without executing the maneuver, in which case, say if I had that with this outdraw pilot, Control R, that will show the dial to Quinton, but you see the belly rub hasn't moved yet. I could then announce Slave 1, change the dial, or do whatever I want to. That's also useful if you realize you've just done a illegal red move and you're just going to be two straighting. So in this case, we're just doing a two straight. So straight is shift and 2. And he will also calculate. And then I just proceed through the other ships. If you have ships that are doing the same maneuver, or that you're confident aren't going to bump, you can select multiple dials and reveal them at the same time. Vassal may pop up with a few warning lights as it processes the 3 moves, but you can move them across. What I'm doing there with the tokens is just copying them with Control C. And then once they're all done, it is to Quinton. Normally, after I've done moving a block of my ships and handing back to my opponent, I'll select the dials, hide them again with Control R, and just drag them back to the player window. It's not necessary, though. A lot of people will just leave them out until everyone's done and then move them back in one blob. But especially when I'm running a list with this many ships, I like to keep the board clean where possible. Then Chotek is going to do a 1 hard, and he will focus. I'll just take a focus out from this long line of tokens in my player window and throw it down there. And again, Control R, drag it back, and because Chotek's changed position, I'm going to rotate that so it's matching his orientation. And then Quinton gets to do silly things with his defender and his Desi. All right, and then after everyone's moved, we move on to round 2. Generally, you won't bother with this in casual, but you'll see we have a 1.0 shield token up here. This is just being used to track rounds because that matters in Jank Tank, which we are currently practicing for. So I'm just going to clean up tokens, move them to the side here. You can also, I'm giving them here so they're handy, but if you want to keep the table clean, you can drag them back to your player window, like so. How do I want to do this? So again, go through the same process as last time. Can belly rubs? No, they can't. What to do here? Let's... Oof. All right. So again, after all dials are set, drag them out, and we're good to go for round 2. All right. So my ones, which actually don't include my Vulture. I was cheating last turn, but oh well. Just do these 2 back-to-back prototypes. Straight 2s. They'll both calculate. And the belly rub, straight 4. He's good. He'll just calculate as well. And my 3s, straight 2, calculate. And the trade fed drone, straight 4. And calculate. Oh, yours, Quentin. Oh, a little bit too fast on rack there. But yeah, Chotek's just going to do that, and then tractor beam, tractor himself, take a barrel, which he still hasn't been fixed with the spawning. Where is it? second edition. So, you wouldn't see that on stream, but I've just opened the pieces window to get a tractor token. And then this is a good chance to introduce the left click menu. So if you hold Control and left click a ship, it will bring up this little menu. So this has controls for all your firing arcs. The symbol buttons shows the arc. The other buttons will automatically check range for you. We'll get to that when we get to combat. What is in here is the barrel roll one, which is in the middle here. So if I press that, it'll then bring up this set of controls for our repositions. So it's got speed 1 and speed 2, and it's got options for squiggly barrel rolls if you're using Star Viper or Echo. In this case, I just want a normal one, so I don't want to go to the right. That will bring up the 3 possible ending positions. You select the one you want. In this case, I want to go back, and that will move Chotek over there. Yeah, I suppose I need to also rotate the arc, which that can also be done from that control click window. Just with the turret symbol here, I will rotate it to the left, and then press X to get out. All right. So because my ships are starting to split up a little, I'm just going to take a moment to rearrange my dials so they're in matching order to my ships. Maverick.
Maverick is our puppy.
All right, and we begin. So again, just doing the same sequence of Control S to reveal the dials. Calculate. Calculate. I've been a bit lazy in cleaning up my tokens from the last round, but doesn't matter. This guy is going to boost. So again, you can do that from the control menu and the repositions option, which has the boost at the top. So it's going to boost straight. You can also just use the keyboard shortcuts, just select the ship, Shift 1 or Alt 1, Control 1 as needed. He's going to link a calculate. And then the drone, where is he? He's also going to calculate. And the bomber, also going to calculate. All right. Oh, all yours, Quentin.
Set.
Chotek will sit, I think.
Sounds good.
Oh, I suppose I'll focus.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Now, do we have range? Ah, so that firing arc that Quentin's just showed there is accessed by just pressing Control F, or again, you can bring up the ship's control click menu, which as mentioned before has all the firing arcs shown. So just like the front one, or if you select the numbers, that'll actually do a range check for you. Which you see in the chat window, it's come up and telling us he's got a range 3 obstructed squad shot on SB, which is my little bomber at the back. So again, Quinton and I don't need to bother because we're chatting, but if you're dealing with an actual opponent, you normally chat, normally type out what you're doing in the chat. So it's just something like that. I only specify the number of dice involved just to make sure it's clear with the opponent. So in this case, it'd be Rexy 3v4 at SB. Or like that. That also works. And then we roll dice. Could you not?
I mean, yes.
All right, safe, and because we've got a gas cloud, I can go right click that, set to evade. I suppose I shoot back. Don't suppose this guy's got a shot. He does not. So again, I'm just accessing Control F to do a quick check. Yep, Rex, rack, no. And then just to access for a front arc ship, the quick shortcut to access the range check is Control Shift F, which that'll show lines to every shot he has. So we're just going to be taking the shot back on Rexy, 2v5. In fact, is there even a world I do damage here? 2 hits into 5
I roll
focus.
five. I roll
Yeah.
5 focus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, step 1 achieved. Step 2 not. All right. And with the shooting out of the way, we progress to the next turn. So I'll be a little bit more diligent with cleaning up some tokens here. This is why I don't normally fly this many ships. Quentin being all efficient. And we're up to turn 4, yes?
Mm.
So I'll just up the token over there. All right. We're away. Start with you. You'll just calc. Drone behind him. Also just calc. Sorry, should be doing the factoids first. Oop, sorry, wrong ship. Just undo. So, if you make a mistake like that, like I've reeled the dials in the wrong sequence, I can use undo just to back it up. So I'll do that correctly, so we don't bump. So he's going to move and passive sensor. So I'm just going to go to my player window, drag the charge token out from passive sensors, and flip it. And this guy behind him is going to do the same thing. And then the bomber, yay.
Do that.
Chetek. Take a tractor token to rotate. So again, I'll use my control click window, and we'll put that to the other side. Well, now let's put it front. And then do that again for the barrel roll. And for our actual action, because we're a filthy cheating Nantex who gets to do whatever it wants, we'll focus.
Alright. French.
Mhm.
First. What do we go from?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably could have gone for a lock. It's like you're getting shot back by anything.
Mm.
Anyway,
Mm.
shooting.
Alright.
So again, just check using the auto range to find what shots Rexy has. So he's picking between 3 obstructed shots.
We'll go after Factoid 2.
3v3.
2.
3 after the gas cloud.
Seems good. Go range 2 into the Separatist Belmont.
Yep.
1 crit.
Safe.
Your 3s.
Yes. Separatist drone. So range 3 at bomber or rack. Let's go for the bomber, I think. 2v3
Mm-hmm.
for 1.
For a dodge.
All right. My other 3 is the Separatist bomber. Range 2 at both. Yeah, let's go for the bomber again. It's 2 dice. Yeah, we'll spend his calculate for that.
Crit.
Seems good. All right, so when you take crits, what you do is drag out damage card. Normal etiquette is to drag it out onto the table and flip it there, because it'll announce it to the players. In this case, it's a structural damage. And then drag that to your player window. If you right-click on the cards, as Quentin's just done, there's a spawn token, which will, as you might imagine, spawn a token to remind us that this guy is now unwell. Your 3, Quentin. Oh wait, my 4 should have shot. Does he have a shot? He does. So I'm just going to use the control window to check the bullseye arc, which will be this symbol here. Huh. Yeah, it does have
Looks
bullseye.
like you just got me on the corner.
Yep. All right, so click them again to turn them off. So 3v3. 1 crit. Netties. All right, didn't matter.
My 3.
Yes.
We'll go range 2 into the second bomber.
Mhm.
We'll leave it at 1.
All right. I will take 1. So when you take damage again, you want to reduce the stats of the ship itself. Shortcut for that is Control Alt and then H for hull, S for shields. So this drop me to 4, and then in my player window, I'll just drag a damage card to the ship in question. All right. Your three, my threes, my ones. So we'll start with the belly rub. So again, Control Shift F, just check what he has. So we've got range 2 obstructed at rack, or range 3 at the bomber. That's the leadership, I think. So we'll go range 3 at the bomber. You got the structural, so 3v2. 2.
What?
All right. Next, we'll go with the drone at the back. Go range 3 at the bomber. So 2v2. Oh wait, no, sorry, no. Sorry, I see separatist drones so rarely. I just automatically assume everyone's a PS1. Correction. Factoid time. Factoid 2 has the clusters. Let's go first with him. So passive sensors. We'll take a target lock. So Control L will show this lovely little overlay, which lets you see range to everyone. In this case, we're not going to be able to fire missiles at the bomber, so he's going to target lock rack. And he will then shoot the bomber at range 3. 2v2. We'll spend a calculate from the belly rub. Takes one more. And then back to number 1. He will passive sensors and just target lock the bomber. So the target locks are automatically spawned when you spawn your list. So I'm just dragging them from my player window out to the ship in question. I think we'll put a concussion into him just to get rid of him. So he's going to flip a charge on the concussion, and then 3v1. Spend the lock. Sad. We will spend 1 calculate. Takes 1, and then we flip 1 at random because it's a concussion.
Too far to spend the calculate? Oh wait, no, it's one of the back ones.
Yeah, it was from the drone. And let's flip. Oh, yeah, it has to be one of those 3. Let's flip this one. I can't. Flip the middle one. We did. All right, and then on to round 5. So all right, let's do this. Ah, actually. Bloody defenders. That's fine. Whatever. All right. And we're away. So one's first. Two separatist bombers. Number one. He's going to calculate. Number two. He's also going to calculate. Belly rub. Also going to calculate. Threes. Also going to calculate. And this guy. Also going to calculate. Or yours, Quentin.
Just resyncing. I think
Ah,
I
okay. That
might
is
make it
a.
a bit.
Yep.
Might be a good time to show them actually the synchronize button anyway, so that way they know what happens if
Ah,
this
yeah.
happens to them.
Yep. So if you desync, which has been known to happen on occasion, and a little bit more so since the demand for Vassal has increased, how to fix it is right-click the owner of the game, and then that'll open up this little menu. This is the same way you access the private message. Above that is a synchronize button, and then that just resynchronizes you with the current game state.
Just resetting.
Yep. All right. Bear with us for a second as we resolve some technical issues. And while I was looking at that, I'm going to see if I can get rid of that dice roll sound. Are we back?
No.
Interesting.
It's alright, if I need to, I can just restart my computer.
So hopefully this happens to the person.
There we go.
Oh, we're back. All right. If the worst happens and you have a vassal crash, or if the owner of the game crashes, best thing to do is to save the game quickly. So just in file, save game, just to make sure you've got a local file you can reference. Oh, we spent that lock as well. So I'll just drag that away.
Put a focus on space.
All right. Rolls for windage, takes a stress.
Alrighty.
Chitek. Yep. Not unexpected. Yeah. Consequences. I didn't agree to this. Take a tractor token to rotate our arc to the right. So again, I'll use the control menu, which is an absolute godsend, it must be said. Rotate to the right, and then tractor barrel roll ourselves. Yeah, to the left. Left back. All right, your fives.
Tough then. So I'm just going to move dial Rex. So Rexler's doing a 4K, obviously.
Damn it.
But my dial is currently showing a 4 bank. So congratulations, we just invented a move in the game.
All right. Whew, just gets the block.
In reinforce. Go for the rear.
Alright, so that's option of the token that Quinton's doing there. If you right click on a reinforced token, you can just flip it between front and back. Shots.
Rack. We'll just go range 1 into the separatist spot.
Sounds good.
Okay. Oh yes.
Spend his calculate. Set to evade. Take a crit. Oh, come on. Bloody weapons failure. Oh, rip. Fours. Chetek. So this is again where the control menu comes in handy, because we want to see the side arc, which is not easy to access via shortcuts, but we can just go, we want to see our right hand arc, and then we'll just check range, see if it's obstructed. It is not obstructed to the GSA. So turn those off, and then we'll shoot at the bomber 2v1 for nothing. Good job, good and faithful servant. Threes. Let's go with the separatist drone. So he is front arc, so we're just going to use the Control Shift F. Sometimes you will have seen then the lines do go a bit spastic on the map window, but the firing options I have found always come up correct. So we'll go range 1 into the bomber. Seems good.
What?
2 and a crit.
It matters. At the moment it's not.
Alright.
One less director you can do directs.
Sad. And the bomber over here, has no shot. Sad. Alright. You're 3.
Yep. Range 1 into. Actually, we'll go 2v1 into Shurtek.
Yep.
Well, 1 crit.
Panic? Ugh. Ouch.
Shurtek.
That's unfortunate. Alright. Factoids. Factoid 2. Shoot range 2 at rack with the clusters. 3v nothing. Sure, we'll spend the lock. And sure, we'll spend 2 calculates. We'll spend his and the drones. Yep, because I'm flanking you. If we wanted to check that, again, we can use the click menu on rack, just to go like who's in the rear arc. As it turns out, everyone that can shoot him is in the rear arc, and that factoid is straddling it, so it would not get reinforced. Ooh. Just turn that off as well. And all right, so factoid. The other factoid. Arc dodging rack. It's not something you see every day. I'll go range. Yeah, range 2 at rack. Spend his calculate. Just the one. I'm in the reinforce there.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah,
what I
yeah.
did.
All right, cool,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, you did 3 before because
Yeah,
your
factoids,
factoid 2
flanking him.
wasn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, and that's everyone.
On round 6.
Yep. Yuck. Why Droidar so bad?
Because they can sit on rocks and just play turret defense.
Yuck. All right, we'll do this. Yes, it is round 6. All right, and oh, we didn't get the chance. Didn't take the opportunity to explain the bump resolution before when Rexy hit.
Yeah.
It's all right. Draw the card up again. It's super easy in Vassal. It used to be incredibly painful because you had to do it by hand, then manually rotate the ship, and it just took forever. But um, a change about a year back made it into a one-click process, and is now one of the ways that the game is almost better on Vassal than on paper. Well, on the table. No stuffing around needing to move ships and figuring out exactly where it's bumped. The computer just does it all for you. Actually. Yeah, change that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good to go?
Yep.
All right. Ones. Belly rub. Let's do 3 straight. And calculate. Factoid 1. Do a 2k. And take a stress. Factoid 2. Lands it. He will also calculate.
Do you want to explain the zoom function so people can...
Yes. So the game does warn you when a bump happens. So if it doesn't come up, it's generally a good indicator that you're fine. But if you do want to go in and check, you can use the zooms on the side to, as the name would imply, zoom in and just scroll to the spot in question. So as you can see, we have just managed to, I think we're even touching there, but
yeah, it's like dead zero, so it works.
yeah. That's one of those things that you get away with on Vassal. I don't think you'd get away with that on the table. A word of warning on the zooms though. All of the zooms except for exactly 100% do have a little bit of warping. 100% is exact, true to life, how it would look on the tabletop. But because most screen monitors aren't big enough for that, we use fit visible or fit height to show the full map. That's the ones. It's my whole squad now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's your whole squad.
Drone. Consequences? Consequences. Those both gone because I got shot at, and the bomber also getting a 2k. So again, I'm just going to use Control C to clone that token, and then Nantex. To bank, and he'll focus. All yours. All right, so Rack has bumped, as you just saw. Way to resolve a bump is just to press C after the ship has done its maneuver. It'll resolve the bump, and then just as a safety precaution, it'll show the templates underneath the base, just so you can double check that something weird hasn't happened. If both players are happy with it, you just select the template, right click it, and delete it, and then carry on. Rexy wasn't brave enough to go for the 4K.
All yours.
All right. Rexy just target locked over there. Okay.
Yeah.
Rexy won't have a shot.
Uh,
Alright, so it's not unheard of for when you're selecting ships to do things to accidentally move them a little bit. If that happens, just press the undo button to set them back to where they were.
we'll go range 2
Yeah.
into Factoid 1.
Alright.
F1.
Safe. Chotek. What's the range out the side arc there? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Something strange just happened there. Okay. I think I broke the left click interface. It's unfortunate. Show firing arcs. There we go. Well, range 1 on rack. 3v nothing. So of course we just roll like a boss. So as I mentioned before, pretty much everything you can want to do with the ship is included somewhere in the right-click menu. Yeah. Found the other wounded pilot. Vulture no shot. Separatist bomber. We'll shoot 1v0 at rack for nothing. Factoid 1. Let's waste some time shooting range 3 at Rex. For nothing. Factoid 2. I'll go range 2 at rack. 2v0. Yeah, he'll spend his calc. And then the belly rub, range 1. He'll spend his calc. And next turn. This is going a lot better than I expected it would. Age-old question though, now what? that's going to work. All right. Start with the ones.
Oh, stop.
Oh.
Systems. We're gonna drop some cluster mines.
But why? Why would you do this?
It's fun.
But we're happy, friendly droids. Why would you want to hurt us like this?
Because we're not happy, friendly Imperials.
So bomb spawning is handled by if you just right click and there's a bomb spawner. In fact, it's all right. Quentin's on it here. After you put that down, if you right click the bomb spawner, it'll give you the option to drop bomb tokens. You can also change the template. So if you've got, oh, that was one of those Vassal crashes I mentioned before. Hang on, I've just desynced. So I'm just going to quickly save the game, just somewhere random. Then I'm just going to rejoin the game. It's not going to work, is it? All right. If you synchronize to the new me, Quentin, we should be good to go.
No.
Let's make sure the stream's still going. Yeah, I think we're okay.
No. Yep. Oh. Yep. All right. That worked out well actually, because I haven't spawned bombs yet.
Yep. All right. So when this happens, you'll see that it's currently a clone of me in the game room up in the current game. It's unfortunately something we're probably stuck with because I can't delete my original self because he owns the game room. Normally, if that happens to a fellow you're playing with and they join back in, you can just kick whichever was the original version of them. All right, back to the festivities. Again, I'm just going to reveal the dial, do the move. That went further than I hoped. 3 turns going to put you right beside me. It's not great. We'll calc. The other one, no. I mean, that works. Actually, no, I should undo that because there's a chance that. No, we're fine. Let's re-establish our target lock. And then the belly rub is going to bump. So again, after the bump warning pops up, just press C, it'll auto-resolve it, and then I can delete the template. That's ones, threes. It's going to clear the weapons failure. Just flip it over here. And the vulture. He will target lock. It's target lock Rex. And the Nantex is going to do one of those. All right, all yours.
Keep it to the rear.
Yep. Is he wounded?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Just make sure that doesn't. Yeah, cool. Is he will boost in one.
Yep. That's Quentin just doing the boost with the keyboard shortcut.
Alrighty. Shuts on. Um, range one into Factoid one from Rexy.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yeesh. I will take hit crit. It is a loose stabilizer.
And then if you just want to flip the center one as well.
For Rexy's ability, it is a blinded. Ouch. So spawn a loose and spawn a blinded. And then we'll move these.
And Rack will just go range one into the Factoid.
Yep.
That.
Pain. Let's check range for just out. So we'll take hit crit. Hit. Oh, pain. All right. Chotek. And no shot. Let's see if this is still broken. Yep. Okay. I think that's no shot. Yeah, just missing. All right. Threes. Separatist bomber. Range 3 at rack. 2v1. 2. So you take 1, no matter what. Yep. The drone. Range 1 on rack. Takes a crit. Back to a 2. Go range 1. Spend the lock. Because we can. 1. So 1 crit gets through. Which is enough. So when you're modifying dice, I should probably mention, if you want to do more than one at a time, say with a target lock, you can hold shift and select multiple dice, as I did just then. And then you can use reroll, or if they're all going to go to one result, you can just go set to hit. So that's Factoid 2. We're not going to bother with him. Factoid 1. No point there either. Ruck is dead, right? Yep. So you've also taken 3. So Rexy versus the world. He's got this, right?
Maybe not in 5 turns.
Yeah, fair. All right. Ones. Bactoid here. Straight 2, and we'll clear the loose stabilizer.
Mm-hmm.
Who else are the ones? The other Bactoid. Where is he? There's a
Bumped
Bactoid.
up against your B through Adarum, whatever it is.
Oh, I'm looking for the dial for him.
Oh,
Nantex, Vulture. It's the bomber. Chotek. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bactoid 1, who we just moved. What have I done? Oh, there it is. Alright, onto the cloud. Consequences? No?
nope.
Yep. Alright. The outlaw. Safe. We are going to barrel roll, which we'll do the old-fashioned way, since we seem to have caught Vassal on a buggy afternoon. So if you right-click again, we'll go to barrel rolls, and we want to go left back. And then we will link a calculate. 3's the bomber. I just realized I messed up. So again, just press C to resolve the bump. Drone over here. It's going to calculate. And then Chotek.
Takes a stress.
He does too, because we have a damaged engine. And yours. All right. Just run that easy.
Uh,
Oh, Chotek should have 3. I didn't update him after we took that damaged engine before.
we'll go after Shetek.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens. 1.
We are not attracted, so safe.
Mhm.
Chotek will shoot back with the primary. So 3. Oh, with the bullseye, I should say. 3v3. 2.
Two.
Ugh. Um, range 3 obstructed. 2v5. 2.
So
Plenty safe. No shot there. No shot there. So just this guy. Range 1.
Mm-hmm.
3.
2.
And now we even have half points on him.
Hmm. Damn.
And your own cluster mines are blocking your K-turn.
This is true.
This is this seems poor. Forgive the doggy interruptions, everyone.
Stop it.
I see he has found something crunchy.
Yes.
All right. Ones. Do back to prototype number 1. He's just get a K-turn.
Mm-hmm.
The belly rub. 2 bank. He'll set up a target lock. Factoid 2. 1 turn. Slight bump. So we'll resolve that with the C key. The bomber. K-turn? Not K-turn. Sloop. I'll get it right eventually. Talon roll. So much like a barrel roll with the left click interface, that'll bring up 3 options for your endpoints. I can't go back because you'll see the red dot there. It means I'm overlapping the gas cloud. So we will go middle. We still hit it. Consequences? Consequences. Right back here. And then Chitek. Here's the stress. We're going to take a tractor to rotate. But I think we will stay where we are. And then, yeah, we'll stay where we are. And I guess we focus. Oi, get back here. Coward.
Hero of the people.
Just casually
Ranger.
one-shot a droid. Go for it.
We're
I
trying.
mean, you
You
no.
insisted.
We take a crit. Panic! Take 2 stress. You're not evading because otherwise we would immediately have 4 stress. I think I've only got the 1 shot back. Range 1. We'll spend that lock we set up a couple turns ago. So reroll both dice. Ooh! And spend it to calc. Takes a crit. Hull breach. I mean, I guess. Range 3 obstructed. 1 crit. 5 focus. Do it. No.
Nope.
But I asked nicely.
Yeah.
I am short 1. There we are. Alright, ready when you are.
Good to go.
Okay. This factoid. Clear the blinded pilot. This guy will sloop. This guy will K-turn. Seppi bomber. Do a 2-turn. And barrel roll. Ah, that's right. It broke. Centered. And link a target lock. We'll just borrow that because we're about to clear one. Like so. And that just leaves the filthy Nantex. There he is. He's going to sloop. Alright, all yours. Oh, whoops.
Go for this one.
Alright, far away.
Alright.
Range
Range
2.
2.
Yep.
I'll spend it. 1.
Takes 1. Console fire. And that is Factoid 1. Which of the 3 current ones would you like me to flip?
Middle one seems good.
It's the blinded. Alright. So he's now at 1. And may very well just blow up off the console fire, but we'll get to that. 4 first, no shot. 3s, no shot. 1s, so it'll just be that shot back. Range 2. For nothing.
And console fire.
And console fire. Safe. Quentin is bitterly disappointed by it.
Eh.
Alright. What turn are we up to? It's 9, correct?
Yep.
Alright. Alright, we'll do this. Starting with the 1s. This guy's going to do that and clear the console fire so we don't randomly explode.
Seems reasonable.
Belly rub. We'll calculate.
Hmm.
The other Bactoid. Calculate. That was done. That's done. Vulture. Ah. Bump. Here's the last stress. And this hyena. And calculate. And Chotek will focus. Alright, yours.
Second wild dog's appearing.
Mm.
Perfect. Stop it. We'll just take it away.
Yep. And fire.
Um, Alright. We'll go range 1 to factoid 2
Yep.
for 2.
Sad. Revenge. Chotek. No shot? Really?
Bullseye should have one.
It disagrees. Is it Control Shift X?
Maybe just Control X and see.
Yeah, it
Guess not.
just misses. All right. Range 3 obstructed from the out. Draw. Nah, just one.
That's all we need.
I was gonna say no. Oh no, because it's flipping the invade. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just catch him up. Ah, oops. Don't mind me. I'm not cheating. I swear.
That's what they all say.
All right. Let's do it. Factoid. Do a talent roll. This guy. I reckon that's got the 4K blocked. This guy. Barrel roll. Oh, still broken. Let's go right. And link calculate. Bomber over here.
Coward.
So roll. Consequences.
I don't think the barrel will fit because of the
I'm going to take a track
overhang.
to rotate my turret. So I'll use Alt, the old Alt M shortcut. We want that forwards. There we go. And yeah, we're just going to sit. Actually, no, we won't do that because we take a stress from our damaged engine.
Oh yeah, sure.
Are there consequences for Rexy?
Yes.
All right. Rexy gets a shot.
Range 1. Range 1 obstructed. We'll just take the regular range 1
Mhm.
for 2.
Spend his calc.
Hmm.